In an audacious raid inside Venezuela, the U.S. military successfully extracted Venezuela's de facto leader Nicolas Maduro from his compound in Caracas. The snatch and grab operation, which was accompanied by a series of airstrikes on the target elsewhere, was remarkably successful. Maduro was captured without any U.S. casualty before taken by helicopter and then indicted in a U.S. court a few hours later. Unsurprisingly, the raid has been hailed as a total victory by Trump and his allies. But while Maduro removal was both tactically impressive and a relief to many Venezuelans, it's unclear what happened next. So in this video, we thought we would take a look exactly and try to figure out how things might pan out. So if you love staying informed and want some of the best reported on YouTube, then subscribe and ring the bell for more. So let's get straight into it. What happened next? Well, in the best case scenario from Trump's perspective, Maduro has quickly succeeded by a more pro-American candidate, or at least more democratically minded one, who oversees Venezuela's democratic restoration and opens the country to American business interests, especially in the oil sector. The model here is a presumably American intervention in Panama in 1989, when the U.S. force swiftly ousted the unpopular dictator and replaced him with the president-elected Jimmy Indaro, paving the way for a return to democracy and markedly better relations with the U.S. If this were to happen, it would be great news for ordinary Venezuelans too, who have suffered terribly under Maduro, but also for the wider region, which has struggled to cope with the massive drug and migration flows out of Venezuela in the recent years. For context, something like 8 million Venezuelans have fled the country in the past decade, so roughly a quarter of the entire population, where most of these migrants end up in nearby South American countries. Especially Colombia, it would be also great news for American oil companies who might be able to rejuvenate Venezuela's stagnant oil industry and American oil refiners in the south, who are well equipped to process heavy Venezuelan crude. Dominance over Venezuela's oil industry will also give U.S. more control over a global oil market and thus global oil prices, potentially allowing Trump to weaponize oil production against countries like Russia and Iran. You can imagine, for instance, Trump ordering American oil company to ramp up the production in Venezuela in order to push down global prices, thus putting more pressure on both Russia, which relies on oil revenue to fund its war in Ukraine, and Iran, which relies on its oil revenue to fund its nuclear program. Although we should say that it will probably take a fair bit of time to meaningfully increase Venezuela oil output, some U.S. policymakers have also argued that Maduro removal will hurt China, given that it's the main destination for sanctioned Venezuela crude. You get the idea. In Trump's best case scenario, Maduro outing could not only bring stability to the Americans, but also advance peace in Europe and Middle East, all while giving the U.S. an edge to escalate geopolitical battle against China. Unfortunately for Trump, however, it is hard to see how all of this happened. In the first instance, it's currently unclear as to who actually going to succeed Maduro. In a press conference on Saturday, Trump said, quote,